June, exhilarated after Fred's murder, confesses to Luke and Moira before meeting with ex-handmaids who also seek vengeance. When she refuses to help them hunt down their abusers, they brand her selfish. Meanwhile, she learns Emily has returned to Gilead to fight, deepening her turmoil. Suffering from PTSD, June obsessively scrubs away Fred's dried blood, battles guilt and satisfaction, and ultimately surrenders to authorities only to be released due to jurisdiction issues. Facing only a minor fine, she later admits to Luke that she relished killing Fred and confesses to Moira her fear of her growing thirst for violence, which strains their trust. Serena, upon learning of Fred's murder, demands justice. After seeing his body and a public vigil in his honor, she insists on returning to Gilead for his burial, setting the stage for further conflict. Serena returns to Gilead and manipulates Commander Lawrence into orchestrating a grand, internationally broadcast funeral for Fred, using it as propaganda to elevate Gilead's image. She delivers a calculated message to June by having Hannah publicly present her with flowers, ensuring June sees her daughter prominently displayed on city jumbotrons. Meanwhile, Esther poisons herself and Janine with stolen chocolates from Commander Putnam, condemning Janine for her complicity in Gilead's oppression. As they choke on blood, Aunt Lydia discovers them, setting the stage for further fallout. Aunt Lydia prays desperately for Janine's survival, vowing to be more compassionate if she recovers. When Janine awakens from her coma, Lydia's devotion to her takes on new intensity. Meanwhile, June arranges a call with Nick, who reveals he is now married and delivers chilling news. Hannah's plum-colored dress at Fred's funeral signifies that she is now of age for wives' school and could be married off soon. This revelation deepens June's desperation. Serena seeks to stay in Gilead, but the High Commanders reject her, instead assigning her as a diplomat in Toronto. Their decision, masked as a political move to improve Gilead's international image, also punishes Serena for her high status as an unwed mother, leaving her adrift from the society she helped build. June confronts a Sons of Jacob supporter in a heated argument at a park, a sign that tensions between Gilead loyalists and its victims continue to rise. Meanwhile, Janine regains her ability to walk through physical therapy. Aunt Lydia denounces Esther for her attempted murder-suicide, but Janine refuses to condemn her. Instead, she forces Lydia to face a harsh truth. The women under her rule despise her for their suffering. Serena secures her release from US custody and initiates her plan to establish a Gilead Cultural Center in Toronto, attempting to expand Gilead's influence abroad. She invites June to the grand opening, reigniting their power struggle. In response, Luke takes action by pursuing legal avenues to shut the embassy down. At the opening event, tensions erupt between Gilead loyalists and protesters, including Moira, Danielle, and Tyler. When a loyalist attacks Moira, June fires a gun into the air, causing mass panic. As Serena is evacuated by her bodyguard, she crosses paths with June and Luke. June hesitates at the chance to kill Serena, ultimately retreating when she discovers Serena is pregnant, momentarily shaken by the implications of taking another life. June and Luke venture into no man's land on a risky mission to gather intel about Hannah's wives' school. They meet a guardian who shares information while hosting them in an abandoned bowling alley, where they drink and bond over music. However, their journey takes a dire turn when the guardian triggers a landmine, exposing their location. As they flee toward the Canadian border, black trucks intercept and capture them. Meanwhile, Serena settles into the home of the Wheelers, a wealthy Gilead-supporting family who take a disturbing interest in her pregnancy, hinting at ulterior motives. Elsewhere, Lawrence proposes his New Bethlehem plan to modernize Gilead, but Putnam rejects the idea, firmly upholding the regime's oppressive traditions. Serena clashes with Mrs. Wheeler over her autonomy, rejecting the expectation to remarry. Her control over her own life further dwindles when she is confined to her room. Meanwhile, in no man's land, June and Luke fall into the hands of Commander Wheeler's forces. When Luke resists, he is beaten and later dumped near the border, while June faces execution at Serena's hands. Believing she will finally have justice for Fred's murder, Serena demands a gun from Ezra, but in a shocking twist, she turns on him, shooting him instead. With no other options, Serena orders June to drive as she goes into labor, forcing them into an unlikely alliance. Back in Gilead, Esther reveals that she is pregnant after being raped by Commander Putnam. Lydia, horrified, reports the crime to Lawrence, who dismisses the moral distinction between this and the ceremony. However, Lawrence and Nick secretly arrange for Putnam to be arrested and executed in front of his wife, Naomi. The episode ends with a revelation that Nick's wife, Rose, is also pregnant, adding tension to his conflicted loyalties. Serena forces June at gunpoint to drive her through no man's land as her contractions intensify. When they crash the car, they take refuge in a barn, where Serena's labor escalates. Though June initially tries to leave after Serena lashes out, she ultimately pities her and helps deliver her baby, Noah. As Serena weakens with fever, she loses hope, believing she was only a vessel for Noah and that June should take him. Rejecting Serena's Gileadian beliefs, June convinces her to return to Canada for medical help. While Serena recovers in the hospital, June calls Moira, who sends Luke to pick her up. However, as they leave, immigration officers arrive and arrest Serena for entering Canada illegally. Serena panics when she learns Noah will be placed in child services, begging June for help. June and Serena exchange a knowing glance, foreshadowing their eventual reversal of roles. Meanwhile, Commander Lawrence introduces New Bethlehem, a supposed safe haven for Gileadian refugees to ease diplomatic tensions. Traveling to Toronto, he offers June a place in New Bethlehem, promising to relocate Hannah there after she's married. While June considers the offer, Luke furiously rejects it. A turning point comes when June receives an envelope containing a DVD of Hannah's wife's school. The Americans analyze the footage, identify her location, and plan a military raid to rescue the girls. Meanwhile, Serena remains in immigration detention, where she pumps breast milk for the Wheelers, Noah's foster family. Commander Lawrence offers her freedom on the condition that she returns to the Wheelers' home to breastfeed Noah. Desperate, Serena calls June, who coldly advises her to accept her fate and plot her revenge from within. Serena is released into the Wheelers' custody, where they belittle her before allowing her to see Noah. The military raid on Hannah's school ends in disaster when Gilead's air defenses shoot down the fighter jets, crushing hopes of a rescue. Commander Lawrence calls June, justifying the attack as self-defense and urging her to join New Bethlehem. Furious, June rejects him again and confesses her role in Eleanor's death. Mark Tulo seeks better intelligence and asks June to convince Nick to spy for Canada. When they meet, Nick refuses, revealing his plans to reform Gilead with Lawrence and his wife Rose's pregnancy. Despite his decision, he professes his love for June, who reciprocates. Meanwhile, Lawrence proposes to Naomi Putnam to secure power and shield her from Gilead's laws. Serena persuades Commander Wheeler to let her use her image at the reopening of the Gilead Cultural Center in Toronto, despite Mrs. Wheeler's objections. However, when she realizes she will be separated from Noah, she escapes with her son, aided by the Wheelers' Martha. At a memorial service for the fallen American pilots, anti-refugee protests escalate into violence, and a gunman opens fire with June as the target. In the aftermath of the assassination attempt on June's life, anti-refugee sentiment rises in Canada, leaving June uneasy. While walking outside, a Gileadian truck deliberately runs into her, crushing her arm before Luke intervenes and beats the driver, saving her. June is rushed to the hospital. Meanwhile, Nick, fearing for June's safety, decides to spy for Canada, knowing Gilead will not stop hunting her. After visiting June in the hospital, he returns to Gilead and, in a moment of frustration, punches Commander Lawrence at his wedding, blaming him for June's attack. As Nick is locked up, his wife Rose confronts him, telling him she knows he still loves June and that their marriage is over. Janine, now assigned to Commander Lawrence's household, lashes out at Naomi when she refers to her as Off Joseph. This leads to Janine's arrest, along with a Martha from Lawrence's household who was helping her. In Canada, the driver of the attack dies from Luke's beating, and police plan to issue a warrant for Luke's arrest. June insists they must leave Canada before it's too late, recalling the mistakes they made in Boston. Initially planning to fly to Honolulu, they change plans after Tulo informs them the police will be waiting at the airport. Instead, he provides them with new travel documents and directs them to take a train to Vancouver, where they can escape to Hawaii by boat. At the train station, June and Nishol attempt to board, but Luke stays behind and is arrested. On the train, June hears a baby cry, and to her shock, she discovers Serena and Noah on board, throwing their escape plans into turmoil. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel for more recaps and breakdowns, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. Thanks for watching.